Out of the gates and ready to go. Welcome into this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, the somewhat capable host, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we got a lot to talk about, as we'll be talking about Patrick Mahomes and his most recent interview with the very lovely Kay Adams on FanDuel Sports Network yesterday. We'll go over the highlights, react to it, coming up in our first segment. Also, a bit of a surprising trade rumor that's been thrown out there. Stefon Diggs, who just signed with the New England Patriots a couple months ago, he could already be on the trade block, and the Chiefs have been named as a top potential trade destination. We'll go over that. Also, we got a major change ahead for Travis Kelce from Brett Veach. We'll tell you what Veach had to say, and then we'll do a Q&A rumors mailbag to wrap up today's show. Go ahead and start getting your questions in now, using hashtag Chiefs or super chatting to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling. We're coming at you from the Chat Sports Studios here in downtown Dallas, Texas on this very fine Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are having a very good day. Where else are we at, everybody? I got Paul in Tonganoxie. I got Tony is in San Antonio. He's also saying, Big Tex, as I do sit-ups, can I use a dumbbell to add challenging weight to the sit-ups? I'll get you an answer to that question from Big Tex in a moment. I got Richard in Wakini, Kansas. David Buck, no relation to Joe Buck, in San Antonio. Brother Rick is in Chicago. Got Tony reminding us that he's in San Antonio. Thank you for that. Let us know where you guys are watching today's show from. Got Richard in Dallas. Who else? A little roll call. Drop your location in the chat and let us know where you guys are checking in from. Quiz time. How many Chiefs all-time cornerbacks can you name? I want you to take your individual comment and come up with as many names as you possibly can. And I'll give you a little bit of a head start. I'll give you Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. So everybody should have those two included in their comment. I want to see who knows the most ball around here. Let us know in the chat. Tony, Mahomes is not a corner. Wrong answer. I said corner, not quarterback. Corner. Nice try, though. All-time corners. Whoever has been on the active roster at any point in time, who can name the most cornerbacks in the chat? Weigh in and let us know. Big Tex is here with me. Big Tex. First off, let's have you answer Tony's question. He wants some workout advice today. So, sit-ups with the dumbbell and to add a challenging weight. Is that a yes or no from you?
I would say yeah. I would say be careful, but yeah, you could use Tony. You could use either like a dumbbell, or if you have like the small, like 10 to 15, maybe even a 25-pound weight plate, you can gently put it on your chest, and you can use that as weight resistance training for crunches. I would implore you to explore other core training exercises like hanging leg raises and stuff with bars. Just check that out. You don't have to do crunches all day. This is not the 1990s like Globo Gym, like home TV workout. We don't have to do that crap.
Globo Gym.
YouTube,
Dodgeball. Great movie.
It's a great movie. That's what it reminds me of, is that kind of logic.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's right. So, yeah, go to the YouTube, Tony, for more resources on that.
All right. I'm still waiting on answers. I haven't seen what you guys have to say of how many Chiefs all-time corners can you name. I already gave you two, Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Now let's see who can come up with the most. You should have those two included in your answer here. Big Tex, let me ask you. How many do you think you could probably come up with?
Ooh. Is Chamari Connor still on the...
He is.
Okay. It's one.
And I gave you Watson and McDuffie, so you're at 3.
Okay. L'Jarius Sneed would be 4.
There we go.
Okay. Let me think. Shoot. All time? So it could be any time?
Anytime.
I feel like I only know recent players because I work with you on the Chiefs. Right. I'm trying to think like back further if I could think of any that come to mind.
I'm surprised I'm not seeing any answers.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
Weigh in,
I can't be the only one.
Who can come up with the most? I'll circle back and see who can answer that question In the meantime, oh, wait, here we go. Peter's got some names. Mark, Eric Berry was a safety, not a corner. Peter says Najee Johnson, Noel Williams, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson. So he's got 4, so he's matched Big Tex. Can anybody do more than 4? Can we come up with more than 4 names? And we've already given you a few. Weigh in the chat right now and test your ball knowledge and let us know. In the meantime, folks, we want to get more people in the building to join us and have a great time today. So we need you guys to spam C in the chat. This will wake up the algorithm a bit. 40 people are already here. This will let more people know that we're here, that we're live. We're talking Chiefs football here on this Tuesday. Go ahead and start spamming C in the chat. I'll start spamming the C's right now, and Texas is going to shout them out, and let's have ourselves a great day today. So without further ado, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Off to the races. Nafis Foster. God, I hope I'm saying that right. Tony, what's up, dog? Take my workout advice. Keep going, Tony. Martha Kett. Kit. Tony. Nafis. Tony. I'm only seeing Nafis, Kit, and Tony. Let's go. Brother Rick. What's up, brother? Tony. He said Albert Lewis, Brandon Carr. What do you mean by that, brother? Richard. Tony.
He was naming corners.
Oh, word. See, that tells you I don't remember them. Paul. Tony. Nafis. Richard. Tony. Paul. What's up, Paul? Tony. Paul. Jamie. There's a new name. Paul. Keep going. Don't stop. Big Tech shout-out time. Keep going. Paul. Nafis. Paul. Tony. And OG. Paul. Nafis. Tony. Richard. Paul. Nafis. Let's get some new names in there. Come on. Pooh Bear. There we go. There's a new one. Paul. Jamie. Richard. Nafis. Paul. Tony. Carl. There's a new name. Paul. Nafis. Mark. Paul. Richard. Nafis. Pooh. Few more seconds here. Finish strong. Carl. Richard. Paul. Nafis. RBC. There's a new name. Tony. Paul. Nafis. Richard. Pooh Bear. Richard. Nafis. Kit. Carl. And Richard. Good stuff. Let's ride.
Good work, everybody. Good work. Thanks for spamming C in the chat and making that happen, everybody. A reminder, we will do a mailbag in our final segment. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. Big Tex, give us your fine details of how this all exactly works that people can submit their questions to us.
Of course. So, I just do it in the chat for Chiefs Kingdom and anybody else that's watching our live show today. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. If you have a question about the Kansas City Chiefs, the football team, coaching staff, front office, trades, free agency, maybe you want to see us talk about a player that you would want on the roster and their fit and how they could impact either the defense or the offense, something like that. Think creatively. I believe in you guys, and it's really simple to get your question in. Ask your question, a space, and then hashtag Chiefs together, which is the more common way to do it. Or you can do it the other way. You can do hashtag Chiefs first, but you got to have a space after that, and then your question, and I can pull it. And one other thing, if you really want your question answered, and it's critical that it gets answered, on this mailbag, you super chat, and we'll put it at the beginning of the mailbag, aka priority, with your question, and it'll be guaranteed to get answered. Because if we have a lot of questions that come in, we can't get to them all. Super chatting is a great way to make sure you get your question answered about the Chiefs. Thank you.
He said please, and thank you. So get your questions in. We need the more the merrier. The quicker we get your questions, the quicker we can get to the mailbag segment. So simple as that. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat, and we'll get you covered, and we'll answer your questions coming up in our final segments. Super Chat menu as follows. Super Chats get priority on the mailbag, folks. And whoever sends in the first Super Chat today, we're going to go crazy, and we're going to show you some love for that first Super Chat that comes in. First-time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5, we'll give you a beer cheers. $10, we'll take some shots. $20, we'll get Bean Boozled. And $50, we will do a beer bong. $sign next to the chat box if you would like to contribute and make today's show happen. And we certainly would appreciate to see as many mailbag questions and Super Chats and all of that as we possibly can get. We can have a good time today, but it's up to you guys to make it happen. There's the Super Chat menu as follows. Let's show you what's coming up here on today's edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. And then we need to get to Like Driver, too. Patrick Mahomes sounds off as he talked about a number of topics in his interview with Kay Adams. We'll get to the highlights of that. Also, could the Chiefs trade for Stefon Diggs? He just showed up. Now he could be shipped out. We'll explain more. A major change ahead for Travis Kelce. We'll let you hear directly from Brett Veach what he had to say. And then we will wrap up today's show with the Q&A Rumors Mailbag. Use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. Before we officially get this thing started, I need you guys to like today's video. When we reach 25 likes, then we will get this show started. All right? But we need you guys to like the video. And when you like the video, type me in the chat and let me know that you have liked the video. And we'll show you some love for doing so. That certainly helps us out a lot. That lets more people know that we're here. And as our friend Smitty likes to say, when you like the video, it's like when you enter somebody else's home. It's like taking off your shoes. It's the right thing to do. It's just a proper greeting. So hit that like button. When we get to 25, I'll crack open this Miller, and we'll get today's show started. We're at 15 likes right now, 17 likes right now. I see Paul, Jamie, Pooh Bear, Paul. Who else? 17 likes. We're getting close to 25 now. Who else? Tony. Thank you, Tony. 18. What else we got here? 18 likes. We're getting closer. Richard liked it. Oh, no, we lost a like. Come on. Let's get to 25. Let's get Who else? Let's get to 25 now. Who's going to help us? Oh, no, we lost another. Come on, people. That's not fun. That's not very nice. We can't start the show until we get 25 likes, my friends. Help us out. Let's get to 25 likes. Let's get the show started. There's 17. I need 8 more. 8 more, then we can get this thing officially underway today. Who is going to help us out? Who's going to make it happen? Carl liked it. Thank you, Carl. Much appreciated. Paul liked it as well. Thank you, Paul. I still need 8 more. Folks. I cannot start the show until we get to 25 likes. So help us out. There's 18. We're getting closer. There's a super chat from Brother Rick, and it's a good mailbag question too. We'll get to Brother Rick here in just a second. Let's keep the likes going. We're at 19 now. I need 6 more. 6 more. And then we'll be at 25. Let's see. Who else? 21 now. 4 more. 4 more away. 4 more. Getting close. Carl liked it. Paul liked it. Naphis liked it. Richard, Tony. Type me in the chat when you liked the video. I need 4 more to get to 25, and then we can get this show started. 22 now. 3 more. 3 away. 3 away. Let's see. Who else? 2 away. 2 away. And we will be there momentarily, folks. Help us out. 2 more likes. 2 more likes. And we'll be at 25. Come on. Who's going to do it? Who's going to put us over the top? Let me know when you like the video. I need 2 more. This beer's starting to get warm, folks. 1 more. 1 more, then we'll be good. 1 more, then we'll be good. Let's see. Who's going to do it? Who is going to do it? Mark liked it. Thank you, Mark. 1 more, then we can start today's show. I'm being very patient, all right? Come on, help me out. Why do you guys make me wait? I want to get this show started. I know you guys want to get this show started. I just need 1 more. 1 more, then we'll be good to go. 1 more, and we'll be good to go. We'll be at 25 likes for the day, and then we'll get things started here in just a bit. Who's going to help us? Dale liked it. Thank you, Dale. Dale, yeah. Mark as well. There we go, 25 likes. Cheers, everybody. Raise your glass. All right, let's get to this super chat from Brother Rick, and then we'll start today's show. And this is a good question for the mailbag as well. Brother Rick says, with respect to a new stadium, it seems that all Clark Hunt has to do is write a check or tap his credit card. What am I missing? You're not wrong, but it's a business. I'm a businessman. And if the state of Kansas and the state of Missouri are both offering him money, 50% from Missouri, 70% from Kansas. Why wouldn't he take that money? You're not wrong, but I get where he's coming from in all this. I totally understand. So, Brother Rick, thanks for the super chat. That's a bear cheers to you. Everybody spam Rick. Brother Rick with the first super chat of the day. You'll love to see it. Thank you, Brother Rick. There we go. All right. Without further ado, let's get started with this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We're talking all things Patrick Mahomes, his interview with FanDuel Sports Network, and we'll begin with that and then get going here on this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, starting right now. We are talking all about Patrick Mahomes here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, and I thought there wasn't a better way to begin today's show than by showing some love for QB1, the most talented quarterback in the history of the game. Spam 15 for Patrick Mahomes in that comment section. I want to see at least 315s. We love you, Patrick. We're rooting you on. We think you're going to have a fantastic season this year. Spam 15 in the comments. We'll get started with today's show. Glad to have you with us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. On today's show, we are going to recap Patrick Mahomes' interview on FanDuel Sports Network's Up and Adams with the very lovely Kay Adams. He touched on a number of topics, so let's get right to it, folks. Mahomes enters another season as the Kansas City Chiefs starting quarterback, and he's hungry for more. This team came up short in the Super Bowl last season against the Philadelphia Eagles, and revenge is not necessarily on the minds of this team. Although the fan base has talked a lot about revenge, the thing that Mahomes kind of alluded to in his interview with Kay was about how they're focused on football, that they want to take it 1 week at a time and don't want to focus on the outside noise and what other people are saying, that they're not looking at that pressure, that it's all about inside and within the building. And it was a pretty fascinating interview between these two that they shared this past week. And let's start with what he said about blocking out the noise, which, if you follow the Kansas City Chiefs closely, you guys know there is always a lot of noise when it comes to this Kansas City Chiefs team. The most watched team in the NFL this past season. You've won 3 Super Bowls in the Mahomes era. You got, the Travis and Taylor thing going on. Mahomes, a celebrity in his own right. So here's what he had to say about blocking out the noise. I honestly am just ready to play football again. I've had just to sit back and listen to people talk, and I'm like, let's just play football and handle it all there. I don't really want to talk about it. I just want to go out there and show who we are as the Kansas City Chiefs. And, folks, that's why he's the best, is that we never have to worry about Mahomes' focus. And Mahomes, he does such a good job of focusing on the little things, of what he needs to do to get better and make this team better. Mahomes, he is all business all the time. This is who he is. And for as much as we talk about his talent level, I don't think we actually give enough credit for the leader that he is as well. And this type of mindset that he's going with is going to translate to the rest of this football team as well, as they stay focused on football and not worry about those outside factors and be the best that they can possibly be. So let's ask you, Mahomes, he's got some new weapons, got an improved offensive line, very rejuvenated entering this year. Will he go back to the mountaintop as the best quarterback in football, winning the MVP award this year? Prediction time. Weigh in, let us know. Type Y for yes, in for no. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in and let us know what you think. Another thing Mahomes talked about was reclaiming joy. I think when you look back on this Chiefs team last year of what they went through, there was, I felt like, an uptight feel of sorts, that this team was playing every single week with so much pressure to not only get back to the Super Bowl, but also to win it. And even as we were going through the regular season, I was never sitting here with a doubt in my mind about the week-to-week stuff because I knew that when push came to shove that this team was going to deliver when it mattered. But it didn't necessarily feel like last year with the injuries that happened and just everything that was kind of clouding over this team that there wasn't much fun going on. And I think that they're trying to bring that element back in of not only focusing on the week to week and blocking out the outside noise, but having fun doing it as well. Mahomes saying this. I don't want to say it was pressure, but last year guys wanted to go out there and win every single week, not because it was fun, but because we were supposed to. Let's go out there and have fun. The wins will come if we play the way we know we can play. And whether Mahomes says it or not, there was pressure on this team to three-peat last year. And this team was sitting there with kind of being on edge of sorts. Every single thing that they did, they were watched closely. And that was the expectation, was that they were going to three-peat. And then they got humiliated in the Super Bowl. And now this team has been humbled of sorts, where they can kind of step back and say to themselves, okay, we are not inferior to everybody. Nothing is going to be handed to us. We got to go out there and work hard and control what we can control. And I think that they're rejuvenated. I think this team is as motivated as ever to show up and show out and do their thing. So what do you think? Mahomes and company, how are they going to fare this season? What will be the Chiefs' record in 2025? Get your predictions in the comment section. Let us know how you think this year is going to play out. Folks, want to make sure you're subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report as we bring you our daily news and rumors. We have sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day, live shows each and every Tuesday, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. Your one-stop shop for all things Kansas City Chiefs is the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Best part about it, you subscribe now. It's absolutely 100% free. Does not cost you a thing. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV to subscribe now. Lock us in. Never miss a moment. Let's get at least 20 subs off today's video. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. So one question that was raised by Kay Adams in this segment was about the receiver room. And we know that Rashee Rice is healthy now. Xavier Worthy's coming off a strong second half of the season. Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster are healthy now. And then, of course, you drafted Jalen Royals. You have Travis Kelce back, Noah Gray into the fold. When you look at these receivers, is this the deepest wide receiver room yet after having so many issues with the receiving core since the departure of Tyreek Hill? Mahomes saying this on FanDuel Sports Network. It's going to be hard to make cuts, referring to guys like Nico and Tyquan Thornton, Sky Moore, and others. We have so many great receivers. We could be 8, 9 deep with the guys I could see making this roster. It's going to come from everywhere. Obviously, you got Rashee coming back. He looks great. You got Xavier Worthy, who came on strong at the end of last year. You've got Hollywood Brown. He's healthy again. Guys everywhere. We have so many weapons. And it's not just that they have so many weapons. They have different ways to distribute the football. It's not the same receiver repeated. All right? There's no clones involved here. They do different things well. Rashee Rice, you got his possession receiver. Xavier Worthy, you can use vertically to stretch the field. Hollywood Brown, you can do a little bit of both. Jalen Royals, you can do a little bit of both. And one thing I think you're going to see, allowing more creativity, is the pressure that it's going to take off of Travis Kelce. And we've seen so many defenses focus on Kelsey. Now, because you have all these receivers to defend, it's going to give you more options. And I expect big things from Rashee Rice. I think that's what kind of makes this offense take that next step in the right direction to open up things. This Rashee Rice stepping in to be that number one receiving option compared to Travis Kelce, who was that in the past. And that's okay. You're still going to use Kelsey quite a bit, but Rashee Rice is that guy, and I think you're in pretty good shape. Do you believe in the Chiefs wide receiver room? You got 2 options here. Type B for believe, D for don't. Be 100% honest with me. Weigh in the comment section and let us know. Do you believe in this receiving core or not? Chime in and let us know. We got Chiefs Nike shirts on sale now with free shipping. These shirts are $10 off, folks. You can get them now at chatsports.com/Chiefs Nike. It's getting hot outside. You need a T-shirt. You want to represent your favorite team at the same time. We got it all for you at chatsports.com/Chiefs Nike. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. All sorts of different shapes and options. We also have other Chiefs merchandise available at that same link. Go check it out now. Chatsports.com/Chiefs Nike to get yours today. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. When you have a quarterback of Patrick Mahomes' caliber that's compared to Tom Brady and Joe Montana and the all-time greats, a lot of people kind of get carried away with the legacy talk. How much did we hear throughout the postseason run and in the lead-up to the Super Bowl of Mahomes versus Brady? Who's the GOAT and all that? And things got a little ridiculous. Mahomes still has a long way to go in his career to kind of cement said legacy. And, you know, with that said, I think that Mahomes, he does care about his legacy, but he's taking it day by day. And you have these lists that people are putting out there. Well, you know, like Chris Sims saying he's the number 4 quarterback in football. You got the NFL 100 rankings coming out, you know, in the coming days ahead. I would bet Mahomes isn't going to be number 1 on that list, but that's not what Mahomes cares about. He couldn't care less about the list. He is about chasing greatness, not just this year, but for many years to come. Mahomes saying this: I'm always myself, no matter if you like me or don't like me. You know I'm doing everything I can to win the football game. They can rank me wherever they rank me. At the end of the day, all I want to do is win Super Bowls. He's saying the right things. That's exactly what I want to hear from Patrick Mahomes, is that he's not worried about what these rankings are, that he wants to go out there and win. But we know he's petty. And I'll say this, similar to Tom Brady in this sense, he uses it to his advantage. He turns the negatives that are said about him and the Kansas City Chiefs into motivation. He turns those into positives. And they use those as a little chip on your shoulder, if you will. So while Mahomes says that he cares about winning, and that's what his priority is, he doesn't care about the list, I do think that he still uses it as extra motivation. And that's just fine with me because he's got that figured out. Thanks for watching this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you made it to the end of today's video, that means you are a real Kansas City Chiefs fan, a real one. Spam real one in the comments, and we shall see you next time right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. All right. Super Chat coming up in just a moment. We'll get to the menu. Will Patrick Mahomes win the MVP award this year? Why for yes, in for no? Chime in the comments section and tell me what you think. If Mahomes will get it done or not, let us know. Give us your prediction of what that is. Why for yes, in for no. Tony saying yes. Pooh Bear saying yes as well. Shad with a $2 super chat. Is there a chance Nagy gets fired after this season? I would say it's a slim chance, and we'll include this in the mailbag, Shad. It's a good question. I say it's a slim chance because I doubt the offense is bad enough for him to get fired. But if things go poorly, if this team underachieves and the offense underachieves, then yeah, he's going to be the first one to go. But I would be surprised if it got to that point. Even though I'm not a fan of Matt Nagy, and I don't think he adds anything to this offense, and he's loyal. And the results are going to have to be pretty piss poor for Matt Nagy to lose his job, especially with everything that he has there on this offense. Super Chat menu. First time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5, we'll do a beer cheers. $10, we'll take some shots. $20, get bean boozled. $50, we'll do a beer bong. $sign next to the chat box if you would like to contribute and get involved in today's show. You'll get priority in our mailbag segment we'll be bringing you coming up later. Up next, we're going to talk about a trade for Stefon Diggs. What? Trade for Stefon Diggs? He just signed with New England. How's that possible? We'll explain that and more in our second segment. Third segment, we'll talk about a major change for Travis Kelce. And then our final segment, we'll answer your mailbag questions. Start getting those in now using hashtag Chiefs or Super Chatting, and we'll take care of you at the end of today's show. Let's go ahead and get started. Segment 2, trade for Stefon Diggs. We'll discuss that more as we continue here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report starting right now. Could the Kansas City Chiefs trade for Stefon Diggs? What? He just signed with the New England Patriots. How's that possible? Well, we got some new rumors to get to that we'll tell you about here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. Are you a Chiefs fan from the state of Kansas? I know that's been an interesting topic as of late with the stadium debate. So if you're on that side of the state line, like the video. I'm always going to be loyal to the Kansas side of Chiefs fans. As somebody that went to KU and lived in Lawrence for 6.5 years, I still have love for the Missouri side too, though. If you're a Chiefs fan from Kansas, like the video. If not, comment and tell us where you're from. We get new people watching all the time. We just want to do a survey of where our audience is watching from. Let us know, and we'll get started with this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Last Word on Sports has named the Chiefs as a top trade destination for Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs. And I know what you're thinking. Why would the Patriots already be looking to get rid of Stefon Diggs? He seems to be a pretty big signing for them, giving Drake May an all-pro receiver weapon. He just got there. What is going on here? Well, let's explain more from Last Word on Sports of why Kansas City could be an option. The Kansas City Chiefs don't need another wide receiver this upcoming season, but it doesn't hurt to continue building the depth. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Marquise Brown will likely be the main contributors to Patrick Mahomes' offense. But Diggs could complete this package deal to a real fiery unit. If any team can get an athletic back in the right mindset, get an athlete back in the right mindset from off-the-field issues, it's the Chiefs. Now, the context of this situation. There was a new report from the Boston Sports Journal that even though he just arrived not too long ago, the Patriots are not thrilled with Stefon Diggs, which is fascinating because they've barely seen him. OTAs, minicamp, that's really been about it. What all has happened in a short amount of time? We don't see teams get rid of big-name guys they just signed very often here. What's the deal? What is happening here? As I do my best, Brian Windhorst. Well, here's more context from the Boston Sports Journal. The team isn't thrilled with Diggs for whatever reason. A legit number one becomes available, and Diggs goes out in a trade for new number one wide receiver. Long shot, but I'm not totally ruling it out. So they're not thrilled, and here's some more context. There was a controversial video from Diggs this offseason shortly after he signed with New England. And in this said video, Diggs handed a bag of a pink substance to a group of women. I can't make this up. Video's out there. You can go see for yourself. And it kind of rubbed the Patriots the wrong way that this happened. And there could be some other things going on around the scene, behind the scenes. But it's not a good look for Stefon Diggs, who's already had a handful of issues over the years as is. Quite frankly, I'm surprised by this for a number of reasons. One, that we're talking about Stefon Diggs already potentially being on the trade block. And then two, that the Kansas City Chiefs are a potential trade destination for him. If they wanted him, they could have signed him in free agency when he was available out there for any team to go play for. The Chiefs could have made that happen. My question, now, why would you give up assets? You take on the same contract that he signed in free agency, and now you're giving up draft picks instead of paying him the contract that he had beforehand. So that doesn't add up. And here's another thing. The New England Patriots, newsflash, folks, they have not been a good football team in the last few seasons. And if the Pats are concerned enough where they're saying to themselves, yeah, we might be better off without this guy, knowing how depleted that roster looks, that's a major red flag. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that Andy Reid doesn't have a good track record with taking care of some troubled players and working through those circumstances. He does. But to me, that should be alarming. If he can't fit in New England, why should the Chiefs potentially take him on, take on his contract, and give up assets too? So, our pinned comment today should the Chiefs trade for Stefon Diggs? You got two options here. Type T for trade, B for pass. Be the GM and let us know here on today's edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Folks, want to make sure you're subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report as we're bringing you daily news and rumors. We have weekly live shows and much more. We have breaking news, whether I'm in the studio or I'm at home at the Jones Zone. We're keeping you up to date, up to the minute analysis that you won't find anywhere else right here in your one-stop shop for all things Kansas City Chiefs. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Let's get at least 20 subs off today's video. Make it happen. We appreciate you guys. You're the absolute best. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. So, more on Stefon Diggs. If you need more reason to potentially not trade for Stefon Diggs, he could actually start the season on the PUP list. That is the physically unable to perform list due to an injury that he suffered in Week 8, a torn ACL. And there is talk that he might not be ready when the season begins. And so if you were to trade for him now, you could be trading for a guy that might not see the football field anytime soon. And then when he does see the football field, how quickly is he going to get up to speed? That's a whole nother concern in its own self. Diggs, a four-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro. He was the NFL's receptions and receiving yards leader in 2020. This is the fourth team he's played for now after a short tenure with the Texans, before that with the Bills and with the Minnesota Vikings. I think we all remember the infamous image of him after the AFC Championship game with the Bills as the Chiefs locked in their ticket to go to the Super Bowl, and he was just crying away, and I loved it. But you look at the numbers from Stefon Diggs. He's been very solid throughout his career, extremely consistent. 1,200 yards off over 100 catches in 2021, over 1,400 yards and 108 catches in 2022, over 1,100 yards off 107 catches in 2023. Then last year, he was off to a decent start with the Texans prior to the injury with close to 500 yards receiving off of 47 catches. The contract that he signed that the Chiefs potentially would have to take on would be about a 3-year, $69 million deal. Nice. With about $26 million of that guaranteed. But here's another element to this of why you potentially might not want to trade for Stefon Diggs. If he is not fully healthy and does not see the football field, there is a scenario that the Patriots could end up just cutting Stefon Diggs and owe him absolutely nothing and get out of this contract, and then he hits free agency again. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe instead of making a trade, you just wait and see if he hits free agency and signs for a cheaper contract than what he's making now. With all that in mind, if you were to make a trade, I think that knowing what we know with the injury stuff and the off-the-field situation, I think his trade value has dropped significantly. I'm probably not giving up more than a fifth-round pick at this point for Stefon Diggs. As crazy as that may seem, I think that's what we're looking at with Diggs, with taking on his contract, with the injury concerns, the off-the-field stuff. If it gets to that point where they're shopping him, I don't think his market is going to be that great, in all honesty. Knowing what we know, with all those details I just laid out for you, is Stefon Diggs worth giving up a fifth-round pick? Type Y for yes, in for no. Chime in the comments section. Tell me what you think. Nike Chiefs t-shirts are on sale now with free shipping at chatsports.com/ChiefsNike. We have plenty of shirts to choose from, my friends, as we have all sorts of different shapes and sizes for your liking. It's getting hot out. You need some Chiefs gear. You want some Nike Chiefs gear. This is $10 off plus free shipping. Sounds like a great deal if I'd say so myself. We also have other Chiefs merchandise available at that same link. Go check it out now, chatsports.com/ChiefsNike, to get yours today. Now, I'll wrap up with a few final thoughts here. Number one, I don't think Diggs is actually leaving New England. I think that we're going to need some more information on this before we potentially get to this point. I think he's staying for now. But it is worth monitoring closely, keeping your eyes open of what's going on in that situation, whether it's a potential trade or release, whatever, and then also what potentially happens with the Kansas City Chiefs as the season goes along. If Diggs is still there, if the Chiefs have some injuries, maybe they need to potentially weigh their options, and Diggs could be there at the trade deadline potentially. And then you look to get a deal done if he's still there and has not been released. But we'll continue to follow it. We'll see where things go from here, but we're definitely keeping our eyes wide open on this possibility of potentially bringing in Stefon Diggs. If you enjoyed today's show, you already know what to do. Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us, and we shall see you next time right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. All right. 2 down, halfway home. We're talking Travis Kelce next. Then we'll get to a mailbag. Should the Chiefs trade for Stefon Diggs? Larry says no. Paul says no. Jamie says no. 66% of you in our poll question say no. 34% say yes. Very good. Very good. All right. Let's catch up on Super Chats, and then we'll go to the Super Chat menu, and then we'll begin this segment. Shad with a $5 Super Chat. That's a beer cheers. Cheers to you, Shad. I'm not from the KC area. Please explain the new stadium controversy to me. I'll go in this more detail in the mailbag coming up later, but in a nutshell, Arrowhead is getting older. Chiefs are evaluating their options. State of Missouri wants to keep them, but they don't want to give them a brand new stadium. They just want to renovate Arrowhead, and they're willing to pay 50% of the cost to do so, which should be, a renovation Arrowhead should cost about $1.2 million. Meanwhile, across the state line in Kansas, they are proposing to build a dome stadium in the Legends area where Kansas Speedway is and Sporting Kansas City is at that will cost $3 billion. And the state of Kansas is willing to pay 70% of that. So the Chiefs are trying to figure out, what do they want to do? Do we stay in Missouri and keep our history at Arrowhead and our traditions alive, or do we go to Kansas and play in a dome and also open up ourselves for more events, concerts, Final Fours, Super Bowls, college football national championships, all of that stuff is what they're trying to figure out, Shad. That's kind of the synopsis on that. Bill Pollock with a $5 Super Chat. Cheers to you, Bill. Bill says Diggs would love KC. After all, KC is the capital of that pink stuff he had on his boat. Get him a mansion in Westport. Oh, maybe. Maybe, Bill. You might be onto something there. Oh, yeah, that'll be fine for the mailbag. Bill, you're leaving me speechless. I don't even know what to say. That's wild. That's great. Super Chat menu. First time Super Chat is get the KC chant. $5 to do a beer cheers. $10 taking some shots. $20 get bean boozled. $50 will do a beer bong. $sign next to the chat box if you would like to contribute and take part in today's show. Let's go back to the mailbag call. Text. It's our next segment after this. Remind the folks at home how they can get their questions in the mailbag that we shall be bringing you coming up in our final segment. The more questions we get, the better. The more we don't have to wait, and we can get to this mailbag segment. Text, please tell the folks, give the instructions how they can get involved in the mailbag.
Of course. So, throw it in the chat right now for you guys out there watching. Anybody watching, ladies and gentlemen, be inclusive. If you have a question about the Kansas City Chiefs as it pertains to the team, the roster, a certain player that you have in mind, maybe it's a coach, assistant coach like Spags or someone else, free agency, trades, something relevant. Ask your question using hashtag Chiefs, a space, and then your question, or the more typical way and more common way, ask your question first, a space, and then hashtag Chiefs. And we've had some super chats come in with great questions, and those are going to get priority at the very beginning and at the start of our mailbag segment. So if you want to be like them, guarantee your question gets on, super chat to get on. Otherwise, use hashtag Chiefs. Thank you.
Tony says, you heard the man. Come on. Hashtag Chiefs, space, and then your question. If Tony can do it, everybody can do it. Yes. All right. Let me take a drink of water, then we'll get started. Here we go, folks. Let's talk Travis Kelce. We got a major change for him ahead this season. We'll explain what that is, let you hear directly from Brett Veach, and then we'll get to our mailbag segment. Segment number 3, third quarter, starts right now here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Here we go. Welcome in to this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us. A major change is on the way for Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, according to General Manager Brett Veach. We'll tell you what that exactly is and more coming up here on today's show. Before we do, folks, we are closing in on 73,000 subscribers on the channel, but we need your help to get there. We're less than 500 away, just over 400 from reaching that next milestone. For daily news and rumors, as well as our live shows that we're bringing you each and every Tuesday. We have our Q&A mailbags. We got breaking news and more. You got to be subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV to subscribe now. Lock us in for the latest happenings on your favorite team each and every day on the channel. And we'll get started with today's show. Chiefs GM Brett Veach announced a new role for Travis Kelce this upcoming season in what could be his last with the Kansas City Chiefs. What exactly is that role? Well, here's what Veach said to ESPN. His numbers won't be the same. You have to acknowledge that he's older. He's not 28 years old, but everything runs more effectively when that guy is out there. He's still going to demand the attention, or at least the occasional eyes of primary defenders, just because of his name and his legacy. So what Veach is alluding to is that the offense is not going to run through Travis Kelce any longer. He will no longer be the number one passing threat. And quite frankly, that's okay. The Kansas City Chiefs do not need him to be. He is not the best man for that job. And that is going to go to Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice will be the number one option in this offense. Prior to his injury last year, Rashee Rice was looking like a top 10 receiver in this league. And it doesn't seem likely that Rashee Rice is going to face a suspension. He's fully healthy. He should be ready to go. But that doesn't mean that Travis is going away by any stretch of the imagination. He can still play a major role in what Kansas City is trying to do here. All right? So what I'm picturing, what I'm imagining how this works, is that we've seen so many teams in the past when they go up against the Kansas City Chiefs that they try to double-team Travis Kelce and take advantage of a weaker receiving core, because we've seen that this receiver position has gone down significantly since Tyreek Hill's departure. Well, now things have caught up again. So if you decide to double-team Travis Kelce, that means somebody else is going to beat you now. And so that's going to either do one of two things. Either Kelce is going to be a decoy and open things up for everybody else, or they're no longer going to do as many double teams on Kelce, and Kelce has a chance still within the offense. That, to me, is a very good thing. So keep it real with me on our pinned comment today. Do you believe in Travis Kelce? Can Travis Kelce have a great season in 2025? It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. Let us know what you think. Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in and let me know. I still have high expectations for Travis Kelce. The Kansas City Chiefs still have high expectations for Travis Kelce. We're not talking about Travis Kelce all of a sudden hitting a wall and being a non-factor here. It just won't be what he was when he was 28 years old, and that's okay. Veach saying this: we've all seen it over the last few years. There are periods throughout the season where you're like, this might be it. But when the games are the most important and the lights are the brightest, he finds it somewhere. The great ones know how to find it. They know where it's buried, and they know how to access it. And they can't access it at that age, week in and week out. But when they need it, they know how to find it. Kelce can always have an impact, even if he's not touching the football, because you still have to take him into account. Maybe it isn't every single week that Travis Kelce is going off and putting up ridiculous numbers. But it's the threat that's going to keep defenses honest, that he can still go off at any given time, any given moment. I mean, hell, his best game of the entire season last year, and there was people saying that he was out of shape and all this, was at the very end of the season in the playoffs against the Houston Texans. So say what you want about Travis being out of shape or that he didn't have anything left to offer. He played his best at the end of the season last year, and that was a big thing. Patrick Mahomes also weighing in on his teammate, saying this to ESPN. I expect Travis to be Travis. Obviously, the play on the field is going to be high. He's going to go out there with the mentality that we're trying to win the Super Bowl this year, with us falling short this last year. Then I think about, more than anything, it's the leadership that he brings to the building every day, how he leads by example and how he leads vocally. It's a big impact on our football team, so I expect him to play at a high level and then be an even better leader. For Travis, it won't be a lack of effort. He is going to give everything that he's got. He has been putting in the work this offseason. He's, been rumored to be down 25 pounds and all that. It won't be because of Travis being lazy and getting distracted by his life off the field with Taylor Swift and his reality shows and his podcasts and all that. Patrick knows the assignment. Patrick and Travis, for that matter. Travis knows the assignment that's ahead of him and what he needs to do to get the job done. More from Mahomes. From what I've seen, he's ready to go. He's been putting in the work this offseason, and he's excited for another chance to make a run at it. And the Chiefs have a plan for how they want to use Travis Kelce here, and what they have in mind. And Andy Reid, when he was talking about this in this same interview with ESPN, he kind of made a point about accountability, that he's not afraid to get into Travis in his face and give him the business and make sure he's pushing him to the very limit and get the most out of him, to not be slacking off of sorts. Andy's saying this. It'll be similar to last year. He's in great shape right now. So I think he's looking forward to getting going. I always watch him. I always keep an eye on him. I know he's getting older. He doesn't know he's getting older, but I do. I can be the bad guy in some cases there if needed. If I think it's catching up to him a little bit, I'll pull off and put him where he needs to be. Other than that, he hasn't shown me any of that yet. He's done really well with it. And here's another thing. Bottom line, when it comes to Travis Kelce and this role in the Kansas City Chiefs, he wouldn't be here if they didn't trust him. Whether that's the Chiefs trading him or releasing him, or if they forced him into retirement. Look, Brett Veach, he's a great GM. But he has said before the old Belichick adage many times, I'd rather get rid of a player a year too early than a year too late. And they still see something in Travis, that he has something to offer, that they are still a better football team with Travis Kelce, and that they can make this work even if he is on somewhat of a decline of sorts at this point in his career. How good is Travis Kelce still entering 2025? Is he still a top 5 tight end in this league? I want to know. Opinions may vary. Weigh in. Type Y for yes, in for no. Chime in and tell us if you think Kelce is a top 5 tight end or not. Got a great deal we're offering Chiefs fans. We got Nike shirts on sale, plus free shipping. Chatsports.com/Chiefs Nike. Got the Chiefs shirt in red with the Nike emblem on the side. It looks fantastic. It's getting hot outside. You need T-shirts. You want to be repping your favorite team, and you want some Nike gear. Well, I got good news. This shirt is $10 off. And you get the free shipping. Hell of a deal if I say so myself. All sorts of different shapes and sizes available. Also, on top of that, folks, you ready for this? Are you ready for this? We have other Chiefs merchandise at that same link. So go check it out now, chatsports.com/Chiefs Nike, to get yours today. From my vantage point, I'm excited for Trav. I am glad that he's still here and that he's a member of the Kansas City Chiefs at this point in his career, because he could have easily hung it up and said, you know what, enough's enough. I've had a fantastic career. I've accomplished everything I need to accomplish. I don't think he has anything left to prove at this point, and he has a very bright future after football. But even with that said, and even with the resume that he has, there's still something that Travis is looking for, and that's one more. That's one more Super Bowl. Wants the chance to go out on top. Wants the chance to be there for his teammates and prove that he's still got it. And the numbers have been on the decline. They have. Nobody's doubting that. When you see him with a career low in touchdown catches with 3 this past year, 823 yards. I think realistically, if we're trying to set a goal for Trav, if he could give me even just the 2023 numbers, I'll take that. Because I know I'm going to get more from Noah Gray and Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and all those guys. If Travis can do what he did in 2023, that'll work. I hope he can go out on top. Whether that's retiring after this year or next year, I want the best for Travis. I want him to show up and show out, and I think he's got the opportunity to do so. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/Chiefs TV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. 3 down, 1 to go. Mailbag coming up next. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, is Travis Kelce still a top 5 tight end in the National Football League? Top white for yes, in for no. Weigh in, tell us what you think. Jamie says yes. Aoki says yes. Tony says yes. Paul's saying yes. Let us know if Travis is still that guy or not. Mailbag coming up in a moment. Super Chat questions will get priority. Use hashtag Chiefs for Super Chat to get on the mailbag. First time Super Chatters get the KC chant. $5 to do a beer cheers. $10 to take some shots. $20 get Bean Boozled. $50 we will do a beer bong. And we can have a good time today. We're already at $17. So not bad. Not bad effort that we've seen from the Chiefs Kingdom today, my friends. And we thank you all for doing that and making that happen. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Cool. One more mailbag call, though, just to be safe. And then, let's catch up on the Super Chats that rolled in during that segment, too. Make sure, last call, get your questions in the mailbag, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat, and we'll include those in our final segment that we'll bring you here in just a bit. So stay tuned for that coming up in just a matter of moments here on today's show. Up next, let's catch up on some Super Chats. We answered Chad's. We answered Bill's. Did we have any more? Let's see. Are we caught up? Yeah, we're caught up. Okay, cool. I was just making sure. All right. Without further ado, our final segment, and then we'll wrap up and call it a day. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of today's show. Let's answer your questions and see what you guys got as we wrap up here on this Tuesday. Glad to have you with us. Tyler Jones, Big Tex here. Mailbag time. Let's get started here in the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Here we go. It is time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this mailbag edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. I've already taken a look at some of the questions. You guys got some trade ideas like T.J. Watt, L'Jarius Sneed, among others. We'll answer those. We're going to talk about the stadium stuff, I know. Maybe even Stefon Diggs, potentially. We'll go over all that and more as we get started here on today's show. Brother Rick with a $5 Super Chat writes in, with respect to a new stadium, it seems that Clark Hunt all he has to do is write a check or tap his credit card. What am I missing? You're not wrong. Clark Hunt could pay for the stadium himself, but he's a businessman. And you're getting offers from the state of Kansas and the state of Missouri. Why would you not take that money if they're going to put that money out there in front of you to potentially pay for a stadium? So while I see what you mean, I don't think it would be wise or smart business for Clark Hunt to pay for a stadium out of his own wallet. He can, but if he doesn't need to, why would he? I would be doing the same thing Clark Hunt is doing right now, no matter how much money he has. If they're going to offer the money, by all means, you should take that money one way or the other. Take the money and run. Chad with a $2 Super Chat. Is there a chance Nagy gets fired after this season? Highly unlikely. Things would have to go really bad, and I don't think that they're going to go really bad. Andy's still calling plays, remember? So Matt Nagy, although he adds nothing to this offense, he can't really screw things up too much. I would be surprised if Nagy got fired. I think it's much more likely that he fools somebody into a head coaching job elsewhere, that the offense looks really good, and like, wow, look at Matt Nagy. Maybe he deserves a second chance. He failed because he had Mitch Trubisky. That I think is the more likely scenario. But, yes, things would have to go very poorly for Matt Nagy to get fired. I don't see that happening. Chad also with a $5 Super Chat. I'm not from the KC area. Please explain the new stadium controversy to me. All right. I will keep this as simple as I possibly can. Arrowhead is getting older, and the Chiefs cannot play in Arrowhead as is for too much longer. So they have two options that are being presented to them. The state of Missouri is offering to pay 50% of the cost to renovate Arrowhead and keep the Chiefs on the Missouri side. In Arrowhead, as we know it, as an outdoor stadium, keep the tradition and everything going as is. That plan cost about $1.2, $1.3 million. State of Missouri is willing to pay 50%. Then you have the other side. The state of Kansas is saying, hey, we'll give you 70% for a dome stadium over in the Legends area by Kansas Speedway and Children's Mercy Park, and that's going to cost $3 billion. So even though the state of Kansas is willing to pay 70% of it, the Chiefs will have to pay more money for the 30% than they would have to pay for the Missouri side. But if you go to the Kansas side, yes, it would be a dome, and you lose the traditions of Arrowhead and all that, and you're not going to have cold weather games and all that. You do open up the opportunity all of a sudden to be hosting Super Bowls, more concerts, college football playoff games, Final Fours, Big 12 championships, stuff that you wouldn't have previously. So I think they're in a good spot either way. I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other of what they should do, but I think that they're in good shape with either decision they potentially could make between those two options that are being presented in front of them. We'll see what plays out. Bill Pollock with a $5 super chat on Stefon Diggs. We talked about him this week. Diggs would love KC. After all, KC is the capital of that pink stuff he had in his boat that he was giving out to the group of girls. Get him a mansion in Westport. Yeah, he might enjoy Westport a little too much if you put him there. But Diggs to KC, I don't see it happening. But if there's some injuries and New England's potentially looking to move him, maybe we can have that conversation down the line. They can also release him if he doesn't get healthy before the season starts and not have to pay him a dime. Then maybe he hits free agency for a cheaper cost he's paying now. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm not ruling it out, but it doesn't seem likely. We'll see. Folks, want to make sure not only you're subscribed to Kids City Chiefs Report, but also that you have your notifications turned on, that you join what we call the Noti Gang around here. Those are the folks that are the first to know when we have new content, whether it's a live show. That way you can submit questions to us in real time, or if it's breaking news and we have instant reaction, whatever it may be, news and rumors, all of it, right here in the Kids City Chiefs Report. If you're part of what we call the Noti Gang around here, spam Noti Gang in the comments. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Never miss a moment. Lock us in. We got you covered each and every day on the channel. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. You'll be glad you did. The Cable Guy. Great movie. Fearless Leader. Hello. Salute to you. Could the Chiefs trade for T.J. Watt? Could they? I don't think it's likely. I think that the Steelers are going to get a deal done with T.J. Watt. And let me explain, and then I'll talk about the Chiefs element of things here in a moment. T.J. Watt's been one of, if not the best defensive players in football for the last several seasons now. He's a generational talent. He'll be a Hall of Famer someday. But the Steelers, here's the position that they are in, okay? They've traded for Aaron Rodgers, all right? They traded for Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf. They are going all in on this year. If they are truly going all in, they can't do it without T.J. Watt, okay? I understand his frustrations of wanting a new contract. I think he'll get it. And I think the Steelers have no choice but to give him that contract, so I don't think he's going to get traded. As far as the Chiefs go, it'd be awesome to have TJ here, but you got to pay him. You like money right now. And then you got to give up at least a first-round pick, maybe a third on top of that as two. I think it's just too much for Kansas City to potentially afford. I don't see them trading for T.J. Watt. Put your GM hat on. Should the Chiefs trade for T.J. Watt? It's our pinned comment today. Type T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in. Let us know if they should trade for Watt or not. Tony, you made the mailbag, buddy. Who's a player you're looking out for in training camp, Tyler? Name 4 guys who will step up and do great. I'll give you one, Mahomes. Okay? Mahomes, it's easy. 4 guys that will step up and do great. I'll kind of go off the radar here. Give me Jalen Royals. I think Jalen Royals is going to pass up Juju pretty quick on the depth chart, be that number 4 receiver. I'll go with Isaiah Pacheco. I think this is a bounce-back season for Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's fully healthy. He's put on some weight. I think he feels like his normal self now. Jared Wiley is another name I'm watching for. Coming off that ACL injury, I think he's got a ton of talent. He reminds me of Travis. You're looking for tight end help. Jared Wiley, I think, is going to be a good one to choose from. And then I need one more, okay? This one I'm more so hoping happens. I don't know how confident I am in this, but King Felix, it's make or break time now. They need something out of him. And he's shown you absolutely nothing at this point. He needs to have a really good camp and needs to do a really good job and earn some more playing time. Watch out for those four guys in training camp. Sydney Sweeney, hello. Hello. What about a trade to bring back L'Jarius Sneed? So it's interesting. The Titans are in a tough spot, right? They had the number one pick, worst team in football. I don't expect them to be any good. L'Jarius had some off-the-field stuff recently. He wasn't healthy last year, didn't have a good year. Titans could be potentially looking to unload that. I don't see L'Jarius coming back with the roster as is, but if Jalen Watson is traded, then maybe you could bring home L'Jarius Sneed and put him back in this defense. But I think we're still a ways from that. That's another one that I'll monitor, especially as we get close to the trade deadline. Let's see how injuries go. But L'Jarius, I think he'll always be a Chief. I think he was well-liked and well-respected when he was here. But for now, I think it's a no. But I don't hate the idea of potentially bringing back L'Jarius Sneed. Should the Chiefs trade for L'Jarius Sneed? You got two options here. Type Y for yes, in for no, sound off, and let us know in the comment section if they should. Chiefs Nike t-shirts are on sale now with free shipping available. Chatsports.com/Chiefs Nike. It's getting hot out. You need some Chiefs gear. Why not wear a Chiefs Nike shirt? It's $10 off, and you get the free shipping. We got all sorts of different shapes and sizes. We have other Chiefs merchandise available at that same link as well. Chatsports.com/Chiefs Nike to get yours today. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Got time for a few more questions. Let's start with Newton. Newton writes, #Chiefs. Let's talk LB and talk about linebacker, their role in Coach Baggs' defensive strategy this season. Spectacular on the number of linebackers to make the 50. Speculate the number of linebackers to make the 53-man roster. Relationship to special teams needs and coach. Okay. Coach Tobe. All right. So that's a lot to unpack there, Newton. Long question. I would say of pure linebackers, we're talking, middle linebackers, I'd expect 4 or 5. The roles, I think, are going to vary. Nick Bolton is not a very good coverage linebacker, if we're going to be honest. I like Nick Bolton, but he struggles there. That's where Leo can help out and Drew can help out in that sense. And, I think it's a good unit. I like what the Chiefs have with their linebacker situation. The other thing I would say as far as roles go, Jeffrey Bassa, who they drafted from Oregon, he's a very good coverage linebacker. Maybe he comes in on some coverage downs. But as far as their roles in special teams, Bassa, I think, could be involved in special teams. Cam Jones or Jack Cochran potentially could be involved in special teams. We'll see. But I think that the special teams isn't the priority as far as deciding who makes the roster on that front. Last question. Richard writes in, who is the bigger threat to the Chiefs? Josh Allen and the Bills or Lamar and the Ravens? I think of the top 3 in the AFC, if you were to power rank them right now, based on the moves that we've seen and how rosters have shaped out this offseason, I think the Chiefs are the number 1 team in the AFC. I'll go the Ravens number 2, and I'll go the Bills number 3. I think the Ravens are slightly better than the Bills, but I think all 3 of these teams are capable of winning the AFC. Might take some luck. What's the old adage? Any given Sunday. They're all very good teams, but I would lean towards Baltimore slightly at this point. I like the changes that they made. Their defense improved. The receiving core improved. I think Baltimore's a slightly bigger threat. And they got Derrick Henry. I think it's tougher to defend Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson as opposed to Josh Allen and Cook and those guys. I think that's a tougher matchup for Kansas City. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on the channel. All right, folks.
That about does it for this live edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Appreciate you joining us. We'll do it all again next week. More videos on the channel throughout the coming days ahead. Have a great rest of your week. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. So long, everybody. Have a great night.